Holding. Okay. Just one more moment. Keep on holding.
Why am I holding?
Resume now. What you got there?
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it.
What you got there? The Beninging.
Don't worry about what I got. Worry about what you don't got.
In the Beninging, there was a subscriber.
Sorry, Osmosis. Your land is in another promise.
Hello, cat peasant. It is Bible reading time again, and we brought a guest with us because
I still haven't sent him the Bible thing. Hold on, I can do this.
Terrence is a very professional co-host. Would you like to introduce yourself? This is optional, by the way.
Hold on.
Only optional.
Yes.
Then I probably won't.
I mean, you can introduce yourself under any name you want.
Yeah. The stage is yours.
For all anyone else knows, you're Bill Cosby.
Hey, no dogs.
Yeah.
No, Terrence is not the guest. Terrence is the star of this show.
I'm an unwilling participant. Please help.
All right, Bill Cosby. What will it be?
Master.
All right. Nice. I think that settles it.
I'm gonna. Speaking of eating, I'm gonna just quickly grab something. Hold on.
Professional as always. I'm ready. Bill Cosby, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm not sure if I'm ready mentally, but we'll see.
Oh no, don't worry. Terrence isn't even ready mentally. Not even I am.
Oh wait! Oh fuck! We're beginning. Oh shit!
What?
What?
We're what?
I got ice cream.
Yeah,
like a small bucket.
Of $1 million. Is that, you know what? You said this is ice cream. I'm just gonna say no. This is not ice cream. This is lard. This is just frozen lard, and you can't convince me otherwise.
That would be funny.
All right, let's get this over with.
It wouldn't even need to be frozen.
I'm not familiar enough with the lard. I am sorry.
Lard is quite solid at room temperature.
I mean, lard is a quite solid choice. I'll give you that.
Wow.
Joshua,
it's raspberry flavored. It's really, really nice.
If you make it into a pie, you've got a raspberry pie. Maybe you can sell that. I heard they're quite valuable recently.
I got a raspberry pie.
I'm surprised you haven't eaten it yet.
It's a little too crunchy for my taste.
Crunchy snack. Okay, let's begin the suffering and torment.
I've been trying to postpone it as long as we can.
Joshua 22. In the same time, Joshua called the Reubenites and the Gadites and the 1/2 tribe of Manasseh, and he said to them, "You have done all that Osmosis, the servant of the Lord, instructed you.
I thought we established you're just gonna read it as like without the enunciation of the individual.
I read
parts.
it however the fuck I want to. I alternate between, depending on if I'm feeling like doing it or not, which makes this much better in my opinion.
Understandable.
You have also obeyed me in all things. Neither have you forsaken your brothers during this long time, even to the present day, keeping the orders of the Lord your Skytus. Therefore, since the Lord your Skytus has given your brothers peace and quiet, just as he promised, return and go into your tents and into the land of your possession, which Osmosis, the servant of the Lord, delivered to you beyond the Jordan." Wait, so basically Joshua called all the people of the Reubenites and so on, and he's like, "Hey, good job, you did your job. Now fuck off. Go to your tent."
I like how they also specify the half tribe instead of just calling it the rest of the tribe, or
It's
other
the
variation of.
half tribe. It's I think the half tribe is always the ones that haven't fallen out of favor, and then there's the other half which are just disgraceful. Think. And may you continue to observe attentively and to work to fulfill the commandment and the law that Osmosis, the servant of the Lord, instructed to you, so that you may love the Lord your Skytus, and walk in all his ways and keep all his commandments and cling to him, and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. Wait. We did everything that he asked. We got the promised land. And now we're supposed to continue serving him with all our heart and soul?
Yes.
Why? Literally, what's the incentive?
There's no incentive. I think you're missing the point of religion.
Okay, fair enough. And Joshua blessed them, and he sent them away.
Speaking of incentive.
And they returned to their tents. Now, to the one half tribe of Manasseh, Osmosis had given a possession in Bashan. And therefore, to the one half that was left over, Joshua gave a lot among the remainder of their brothers across the Jordan in the western region.
Gave them a lot?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought human trafficking was illegal.
Well, this is the Bible. I don't think anything here is off limits. Except for all the things that were mentioned that are off limits, but that's a different story. And when he had...
all loopholes.
Not only loopholes, also loopholes.
Mm.
And when he had blessed them and dismissed them to their tents, he said to them, "Return to your settlements with much substance and wealth, with silver and gold, brass and iron, and a multitude of garments. Divide the spoils of your enemies with your brothers." And the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the one half tribe of Manasseh returned. And they went away from the sons of Israel at Shiloh, which is situated in Canaan, so that they might enter into Gilead, the land of their possession, which they had obtained according to the order of the Lord by the hand of Osmosis.
Oh, so now that they got the promised land, they're going to keep mentioning that's the land that was promised.
Yes.
Now that they stop constantly mentioning one bit, they're going to keep mentioning the land, but after the fact.
Yes.
You know what that means?
I knew the moment you said that, I knew very well. Would you like to explain this concept to Mr. Cosby?
Alright, Billy, listen up.
Fuck off. Holy shit, that was so... Oh my god, that was so close. Fuck you. Holy shit. What's so funny about that to you? Holy fuck.
Oh.
Rip. Oh, go ahead.
Anyway, so there's a lot of things that are constantly sort of repeated in the Bible, and because they get repeated so often, we kind of say to make it interesting and turn it into a drinking game. So there's a lot of specific phrases or specific wordings or situational things that when whenever they happen, we just drink.
Examples.
For about three or four books now, there was a constant mention of like the land that had been promised to all the people.
Promised land, literally just dangled in front of them like a carrot. Yeah. It's like, do this and you'll get the land, and then it's like, okay, you did this, but if you do this now, you'll get the land. And then they do this, and then it's like, okay, you did that, but if you do this now, you'll get the land. Literally dangling a carrot in front of them.
For like three or four books. And at the end, pretty much close to the end of last stream, they finally got the land.
Yeah.
And by the looks of it, the fact that they got the land will be the new thing that will be mentioned every 5 minutes.
Now they're dangling the land behind them like a carrot. Yeah, just a few examples. There were a lot of mentions when Osmosis was still alive, and then he died, and now he's back. Nobody knows, don't ask. But there was like seemingly every fifth sentence or so, at least it felt like it, began with, "And the Lord spoke to Osmosis," like every single time. And yeah, I don't know. There's a few other things. Like whenever the Lord gets a new title.
Yeah, whenever he gives himself a new title.
Yeah, he has plenty of titles. by now, but he hasn't given himself a new one in quite a while by now, I think. But anyways, if you would like to join, the Promised Land, we just had a mention of that. Now you're aware. We should have like a flyer sheet that covers all the stuff for the guests, so they know what they're getting themselves into. And maybe also a business card.
Yeah, that may be useful.
We should create a PowerPoint that we just give whenever we get a new guest, we just give them a rundown through the PowerPoint. Just give them a PowerPoint presentation before they join the stream.
That's also a good idea, actually. Anyways, now you're brought up to speed. As to what happened in the Bible, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. We don't know. Just roll with it. If you have anything interesting to say,
It kind of all blends together after a while.
Yeah. If you have any interesting insight or questions, feel free to ask. This is just...
All right.
We're just trying to figure out what this is all about.
Are you a religious man, Billy?
No.
No?
Who would you like to be? I got just the book to make sure you never will. Okay, so I found it very interesting that it says, and the sons of Reuben, and the sons of Gad, and the one half tribe of Manasseh. Why is it always the sons of somebody referring to a tribe, but the half tribe, it's not and half of the sons, or the one half. Now it's the tribe. Why is it not the tribe of Reuben? Why is it the sons of Reuben? Why?
Well, because they need all the man they can get, because it's only a half tribe, so they're including the woman as well.
Son of a bitch, that makes too much sense. Hello, Uncultivated. Guy is playing the long game. It starts with puns and ends with the word of the Lord. Hey, no spoilers. Okay, and the one half tribe of Manasseh returned, and they went away from the sons of Israel at Shiloh, which is situated in Canaan, so they might enter into Gilead, the land of their possession, which they had obtained, according to the order of the Lord by the hand of Moses.
We should maybe also point out to our guest that we have kind of quote-unquote upgraded the Bible with a bunch of find and replace things.
Yeah, I can see.
Oh, really?
So
you're an observant one.
Yeah, very observant one. I know.
Just so if you're wondering why it's so incredibly fucking scuffed.
Trust me, it's better than before.
A lot of it was like we haven't changed that much. So if you see things that are scuffed that aren't funny, then they were scuffed by default.
Yeah.
The things that are scuffed and are vaguely funny are our doing.
And when they had arrived at the hills of the Jordan in the land of Canaan, they built an altar of immense magnitude beside the Jordan. And when the sons of Israel had heard of it, and certain messengers had reported to them that the sons of Reuben and of Gad and of the one half tribe of Manasseh had built an altar in the land of Canaan upon the hills of the Jordan, facing the sons of Israel, they all assembled at Shiloh so that they might go up and battle against them.
Rude.
Wait, who's battling who? Hello, Naga. Wait, when the sons of Israel heard, certain messages reported, they assembled. So everybody's, all the other sons of Israel are now gathering up against Reuben, Gad, and the one half tribe of Manasseh. I don't remember. Yeah. Are Reuben, Gad, and is this like the bad people? Is this like, were Reuben and Gad the bad people? So is this...
Not that I remember, but
Not like you would remember anything, to be fair.
Well, unless it has something to do with alcohol.
Fair point. And in the interim, they sent to them, in the land of Gilead, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest.
Phinehas? Phinehas you got there.
Oh yeah, I will fine us $20.
Fine us.
Have you watched the cartoon when you were a kid, Phinehas and Ferb?
No.
Same. I haven't either, but I know it's a cartoon.
I think someone's misremembering something here.
The son of Eleazar, the priest, and 10 leaders with him, one from each tribe. And they went to the sons of Reuben, and of Gad, and of the one half tribe of Manasseh.
Half.
Yeah, one half
One half
tribe.
of a leader, just about a half.
in the land of Gilead, and they said to them, all the people of the Lord declare this. What is this transgression? Why have you forsaken the Lord, the skyters of Israel, by building a sacrilegious altar and by withdrawing from the worship of him? Is it a small thing to you that you have sinned with Baal of Peor, and that stain of that crime continues among us?
Among us?
Even to the present day. By the way, have you informed
What a wonderful
our
first message.
hello?
You okay?
Have you informed our guest which page we are on, so he can read along if he would like? Or maybe he's figured it out himself.
Well, you can
Yeah, I
see
figured-
it. You can see on your stream.
But
That
that's
too.
slightly delayed, I guess, but sure. And many of the people have fallen, and yet you have forsaken the Lord today, and tomorrow his wrath will rage against all of Israel. But if you consider the land of your possession to be unclean, cross over to the land in which is the skytest tent of the Lord, and live among us. But do not withdraw from the Lord and from our fellowship by building an altar contrary to the altar of the Lord our skytest. Did not Fortune, the son of Zerah, go against the commandment of the Lord? And so his wrath was laid over all the people of Israel. And he was only one man. Wait, Fortune was only one man?
Just the one.
If only he had perished in his wickedness alone.
Strangely fitting.
It's always strangely fitting when anything about Fortune comes up. It's so fucking weird. And the sons of Reuben, and of Gad, and of the one half tribe of Manasseh responded to the leaders of the delegation from Israel. The Lord, the Almighty Skytus, the Lord, the Almighty Skytus, he knows, and also Israel will understand. If we have constructed this altar with intent of transgression, let him not preserve us, but instead punish us immediately. And if we have acted with a mind so that we might present upon it holocaust and sacrifice, and victims of peace offerings, let him inquire and judge. Instead, we have acted with this greater thought and design that we would say, tomorrow your sons will say to our sons, what is there between you and the Lord, the skytest of Israel? The Lord has stationed the river Jordan as the border between us and you, O sons of Reuben, O sons of Gad. And therefore you have no part in this land. And by this occasion your sons would turn away from our sons from the fear of the Lord. And so we sought something better, and we said, let us build an altar, not for holocausts and not to offer victims, but as a testimony between us and you, and between our descendants and your progeny, so that we may serve the Lord, and so that it may be our right to offer holocausts and victims and peace offerings, and so that tomorrow your sons may not say to our sons, you have no part in the land. And if they declare this, what? No, hold on. And if they decide to say this, they shall respond to them. Behold, the altar of the Lord, which our daddies made not for holocaust and not for sacrifice, but instead as a testimony between us and you. May this wickedness be far from us, such that we would withdraw from the Lord and would forsake his paths, by constructing an altar to offer holocausts and sacrifices and victims, contrary to the altar of the Lord our skytest, which was built before his skytest tent.
Skytest tent?
I think that was the tabernacle, was it?
Tabernacle of testimony.
Yeah, yes. It was some weird fucking.
It's literally a tent for skytest. It's a skytest tent.
Think of it as a portable church.
Yeah, basically. Okay. Church to go.
Takeaway church.
Takeaway church.
It even comes with the drive-in. So you can get your confessions on the go.
Oh.
Okay, so basically, I think what happened, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the, I guess, good people that still, I guess, blindly followed Skytus, the other 10 sons, came up to the 2.5 bad tribes and they were like, "Hey, you did bad. Stop, or tomorrow we will kill you, or whenever." But I think it was tomorrow. And then they were like, "No. We technically didn't do this, but this is all for a good reason, because we created this altar as a bond between us to show how amazing we are. But and I don't know. It just sounds like a very elaborate way of just saying of trying to get out of this whole situation." But this was such a lengthy fucking speech that I'm not quite sure I got all that right. But basically, the 2.5 tribes built bad altars, and they just gave a reason why they did, which vaguely makes sense, possibly, but we'll see.
I think it was to prove they're not atheists. I think that would have been an illegal game removed back then.
Maybe that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And when Phineas, the priest, and the leaders of the delegation who were with him had heard this, they were pleased. And they accepted.
Well, fuck me, that's good.
Are you sure? You do know that that's against Bible law, right?
Man can dream.
Oh. I mean, as long as it's not a wet dream, you're good. If it's a wet dream, you're dirty until evening. Sorry, unclean. You're always dirty.
Bag of filth.
And they accepted very willingly the words of the son of Reuben and of Gad and of the 1/2 tribe of Manasseh. And Phinehas, the priest, the son of Eleazar, said to them, "Now we know that the Lord is with us, for you are a stranger to this transgression. And so you have freed the sons of Israel from the hand of the Lord." And he returned with the leaders from the sons of Reuben and of Gad, out of the land of Gilead, into the parts of Canaan, to the sons of Israel, and he reported to them. And the word pleased all who heard it. And the sons of Israel praised Skytus, and they no longer said that they would go up against them and fight, and destroy the land of their possession. And the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gilead called the altar that they had built, "Our testimony that the Lord himself is Skytus." What a strange fucking name for an altar. This is literally the name for the altar. The altar is literally called "Our testimony that the Lord himself is Skytus."
Interesting.
Hold on, I need light. And light became. I saw what you did.
No, you didn't.
You're right, but I saw that you did something.
Fine, you're gonna like it.
I saw that something moved. Joshua 23. Now a long time passed after the Lord had given peace to Israel by subjecting all the surrounding nations. And Joshua was now old and very advanced in age. Joshua called all of Israel, and those greater by birth, because they are not part of Israel, I guess, and the leaders and rulers and teachers, and he said to them, "Teachers?
Hello?
Have we had teachers before?"
Maybe.
And he said to them, "I am elderly and advanced in age."
Wow.
Thanks.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Behold? More like, be old. What a strange sentence to begin this with. "And you yourselves discern all that the Lord your Skytus has done with all the surrounding nations, in what manner he himself has fought for you. And now, since he has divided to you by lot all the land from the Estonian part of the Jordan even to the Great Sea, and yet many nations still remain, the Lord your Skytus will destroy them, and he will take them away before your face, and you shall possess the land, just as he has promised you." So, does this mean they got their promised land, and now Joshua is saying, well, you got your promised land, but there's still more nations around you, and Skytus will destroy them, and then you will possess the land, just as he promised you. So, remember how we ended the last session with I'm paraphrasing, but basically all the promises of Skytis were fulfilled.
Yes.
That was the gist of it, right?
Yes.
How do we now have something where it says, and he will take them away before your face, aka kill the other nations, and you shall possess the land just as he has promised you? So either the promised land hasn't been fully delivered, in which case the ending of our last reading session is wrong, or this is wrong.
But maybe it's been half delivered.
Yeah, just like your Amazon package was half delivered.
Well, if I order 12 things and, 8 of them come, then technically something was delivered. And you can't tell me my Amazon packages weren't delivered, because they were, just not all of them.
But it's one package that was promised. How do you get half a package?
Well, maybe it was a really big package.
Even so, be strengthened and be careful that you observe all the things that have been written in the book of the law of osmosis, and that you do not turn aside from them, neither to the right nor to the left. Oh yeah, also, he mentioned the promised land, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I do.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Why are we entering genitalias? What?
Why are you running? Otherwise, after you have entered to the genitals, who will be among you in the future?
Thanks.
Who will be among you in the future? You might swear by the name of their Skytises and serve them and adore them. Instead, cling to the Lord your Skytis, just as you have done even to this day. And then the Lord Skytis will take away, in your sight, nations that are great and very robust. How is a nation robust? What? And no one will be able to withstand you.
It's like a Swiss knife.
Yeah, it's very stab resistant. It's very robust. Thanks, Bible. One of you shall pursue 1,000 men of the enemies, for the Lord your Skytis himself will fight on your behalf, just as he promised. Even so, be very diligent and careful in this, that you love the Lord your Skytis. But if you choose to cling to the errors of these nations that live among you, and to mix with them by marriage, or to join with them by friendship, even now, know this, that the Lord your Skytis will not wipe them away before your face. Instead, they shall be a pit and a snare to you, and a stumbling block at your side, and stakes in your eyes, until he takes you away and scatters you from this excellent land, which he has delivered to you.
Yeah, hold on. I need the refill.
Lo, today I am entering the way of the entire earth, and you shall know with all your mind that out of all the words that the Lord has promised to fulfill for you, not one will pass by unfulfilled. Ah yes, today I am entering the way of the entire earth. I don't know what that means even, or how that's supposed to work, but hey, good for you, buddy. Therefore, just as he has fulfilled indeed what he has promised, and all prosperous things have arrived, so will he bring upon you whatever evils were threatened, until he takes you away and scatters you from this excellent land which he has delivered to you, when you will have transgressed the covenant of the Lord your Skytis which he has formed with you, and you will have served strange Skytises, and will have adored them. By the way, there were 2 mentions of the promised land. He has fulfilled what he has promised, and then there's also now when you started drinking the other promise, so that's a 2-for-1 deal.
That's a good catch, that.
It's a double.
And then the fury of the Lord will rise up quickly and speedily against you, and you will be taken away from this excellent land which he has delivered to you.
What?
Okay, I know what you're thinking
Where
right
did
now.
they-
Okay, hold on. I know what you're thinking, and I will explain it to you right now. The land is excellent, in case you missed that.
But it has furies.
Yes, the furies of the Lord. What do you mean?
Well, that's what makes it excellent.
That's what it says right there.
Just shaggy noises.
Hey, Terrace, no doxing.
Yeah, it's Bill Cosby to you.
Sorry, Billy.
Joshua 24. And Joshua gathered together all the tribes of Israel at Shechem, and he called those greater by birth, and the leaders and judges and teachers. And they stood in the sight of the Lord. And he spoke to the people in this way. Thus says the Lord, the skies of Israel. Your daddies lived in the beginning. In the beginning. In the beginning. Your daddies lived in the beginning across the river. Can we just rename Terra to Budget Terrace? Terra, the daddy of Abraham and Nahor. And they served strange goddesses. Then I brought your daddy Abraham from the parts of Mesopotamia, and I led him into the land of Canaan. And I multiplied his offspring, and I gave to him Isaac.
No.
He gave him Isaacs? And to him I gave again Jacob and Esau. And I gave Mount Seir to Esau as a possession. I think Esau was the hairy one, right?
Oh, I think so.
Important details. He was hairy and I guess Jacob was smooth. Very important detail. Yet truly,
indeed.
Jacob and his sons descended into Egypt. And I sent osmosis and triple Arab, and I struck Egypt with many signs and portents. What's a portent? Like a resting place for poor people?
No, it's a tent that's just really poor.
Oh, okay. That seems very poorly thought out.
Maybe that's a tent that was set up in a port, though.
Oh, so like a
Could be
swimming
either.
tent.
Swimming tent.
It's like a houseboat.
It's a wet tent.
It tends to get wet.
No.
You're fired.
What the what? Wait, whoa. Hold. This is. Oh my god, this is stupid. Please tell me this works, please. Wait.
what you got?
I need to send you something. Oh my god, it worked. As you said, Terrace, as you said you're fired, this OneDrive notification came up.
What the fuck?
Oh no, this is stream safe. This literally came up as Terrace said you're fired.
Fuck.
Thanks, OneDrive. What is? Oh wait, I know what this is. Holy shit, this is my KZ map completion. Thanks, OneDrive. Yeah, I care about the screenshots I took 1 year ago or 2. I don't know. On the 15th of October. Thanks. Yeah, but anyway, being fired was very easy. Thanks, OneDrive. The fuck was that timing? Holy shit. And I led you and your daddies away from Egypt, and you arrived at the sea. And the Egyptians pursued you and your daddies with chariots and horsemen as far as the Red Sea. Are you okay?
I'm really not.
This isn't even the first time. Come on, Terrace.
No, I'm really not okay.
You know Billy being surprised by this, sure, but you?
I just forget we do half the shit we do. It just shows up.
Then the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord, and he stationed a darkness between you and the Egyptians, and he let the sea over them. He covered them. Your eyes saw all that I did in Egypt, and you lived in the wilderness for a long time. and I led you into the land of the Amorite, who was living beyond the Jordan. I like how we're literally just getting a recap right now. You're so welcome, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
And when they fought against you, I delivered them into your hands, and you possessed their land, and you put them to death. With one
With
F.
one
Yeah. You're so welcome.
Then Balak, the son of Zippor, the king of Moab, rose up and fought against Israel. And he sent and called for Balaam, the son of Beor, so that he might curse you. And I was not willing to listen to him. But on the contrary, I blessed you through him, and I freed you from his hand. And you crossed over the Jordan, and you arrived at Jericho. And the men of that city fought against you. The Amorite, the Perizzite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. And I delivered them into your hands. Death with one F, indeed. Why do I have a feeling that I know what Terrace is doing right now?
and the Hittite.
And I sent wasps before you, and I drove them from their places. What? And I drove from their... What the hell? Oh my god, that sentence... Okay, I get it now. And I drove them from their places, the 2 kings of the Amorites. But not by your sword, and not by your bow. And I gave you a land in which you did not labor, and cities which you did not build, so that you might live in them, and vineyards and olive groves which you did not plant. This counts as flexing about giving them the land, right, Terrace?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure, why not?
it's definitely a flex. Long
Definitely,
flex.
with one F.
Mm.
Also, whenever there's doubt about rules, I just ask out of politeness, out of courtesy, I ask Terrace, but we basically have another rule. When there's doubt, it counts. I just pretend to be polite.
Yeah, if you're not sure you should drink, it means you should drink.
Yeah, that's why I've been sipping.
There's one more rule.
A few
like,
beers for a while
that
now.
might make this a little better. One more rule. If you're not drinking, you have to drink.
What?
Accurate. Okay.
It's always active. There's no further conditions. Just if you're not drinking, you have to drink.
Just a passive rule. Just drink, okay?
Now therefore, fear the Lord, and serve him with a perfect and very sincere heart, and take away the skytices that your daddies served in Mesopotamia and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. There we go. What? Your last bit? No. We need a hill of foreskins, Terrace. There's also a Bible reference, what you just saw on screen for anyone that's unaware. It's complicated, okay? But there's a hill of foreskins. And I'm not making this up. I believe that's literally what it's called. The hill of the foreskins.
That is its exact name, yes.
But if it seems evil to you that you would serve the Lord, a choice is given to you. Choose today what pleases you, and whom you ought to serve above all else. Either the skytices that your daddy served in Mesopotamia, or the skytices of the Amorites, in whose land you live. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Damn. What an open-minded speech from Joshua. And the people responded, and they said, Far be it from us that we would forsake the Lord and serve foreign skytices. The Lord our skytis himself led us and our daddies away from the land of Egypt and from the house of servitude. And he accomplished immense signs in our sight, and he preserved us along the entire way by which we journeyed, and among all the people through whom we passed. And he cast out all the nations, the Amorite, the inhabitant of the land that we entered. And so we will serve the Lord, for he is our skytis. And Joshua said to the people, You will not be able to serve the Lord, for he is a holy and powerful skytis. And he is jealous, and he will not ignore your wickedness and sins. If you leave behind the Lord and you serve foreign skytices, he will turn himself and he will afflict you, and he will overthrow you after all the good that he has offered you. Rude. I was reading that, Terrace. Okay, wait.
Fixed it.
Recap. So basically, Joshua is speaking to the people, and he's basically saying you can either follow the larger skytices or just other skytices, but then, well, you're on your own. paraphrasing, obviously. And then, wait, where's the response? And then they said, far be it from us, he did all these great things. And so we will serve the Lord, for he is our Skytus. And then Joshua said, you will not be able to serve the Lord. Then he also says, if you leave behind the Lord and serve foreign Skytuses, he will turn himself and he will afflict you. So basically he's saying,
either way.
you can't serve Skytus, but you can't serve other Skytuses. So basically you're just not allowed to serve anyone. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing all my life.
Well, good for you, then you've been doing it all right. And the people said to Joshua, by no means will it be as you are saying, but we will serve the Lord. And Joshua said to the people, you yourselves are witnesses that you have chosen the Lord so that you may serve him. And they answered, we are witnesses. Wait, so now they are allowed to serve him, even though Joshua just said you can't serve him?
Well, maybe they're going to do it anyway, and they don't care what Joshua says, because it's not like he's Skytus himself.
But he's Joshua. He's like
he's
the
just
closest...
he's just some old fool. He said it himself.
Yeah.
True. He's old. He's advanced in age, sorry. I said the old word, my bad. Now therefore, he said, take away strange Skytus. Terrace, why did you replace Skytus with Skytus?
Skytuses.
Yeah, but look. Take away strange Skytuses. This was supposed to be plural and not a possessive apostrophe S. You ruined it. Take away strange Skytuses from among yourselves and incline your hearts to the Lord, the Skytus of Israel. And the people said to Joshua, we will serve the Lord our Skytus, and we will be obedient to his precepts. Therefore, on that day, Joshua struck a covenant, and he set before the people at Shechem the precepts and the judgments. He also wrote all these things in the volume of the law of the Lord. And he took a very great stone, and he stationed it under the oak that was in the sanctuary of the Lord. Why did he place the stone there? And he said to all the people, it's not even explained. It's just, he put a stone there, and then he talked to them. Just nothing to see. Just putting a big stone here. Moving on. Lo, this stone shall be as your testimony, which has heard all the words of the Lord that he has spoken to you, lest perhaps afterwards you might choose to deny it and to lie to the Lord your Skytus. Ah, yes, the stone has heard the words.
He's definitely old and decrepit. He places a rock and goes, behold, this is my witness.
No, it's not that crazy. Terrace, did you watch cartoons growing up? Are you familiar with a cartoon called SpongeBob SquarePants? Are you aware that rocks can move? They are basically their pets. They can listen. It's okay, Rocky. You go whenever you feel like it.
Aren't they also vehicles?
No, those are boulders.
Are rocks?
Sorry.
Are rocks? Are rocks really
are rocks
tough
instruments
and hard? Maybe they just they are soft and they toughen up when you approach them. Yeah.
That's a really fucking stupid theory, but I like it.
Hold on, let me see.
How will you test it?
Can I find this real quick?
You can scare the heart out of the rock.
God damn it!
The rock goes limp.
I tried to find the Rocky thing, but I can only find shorter and not complete versions of it. No. Anyway, so if you don't know what we're talking about, sorry, but you had no childhood. Yeah. All right, so the stone will be the witness.
All right.
And he dismissed the people, each one to their own possession. And after these things, Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old.
Good, finally.
I just picture him being like, all right, this stone is my witness. now you all fuck off. And then they all turn around and he just falls over and dies.
he just fucking tips.
And they buried him within the borders of the possession of his possession at Timnath-Serah,
Everybody do the flop.
which is situated on Mount Ephraim, before the northern side of Mount Gash. And Israel served the Lord during all the days of Joshua and of the elders who lived for a long time after Joshua, and who had known all the works of the Lord that he had accomplished in Israel. And the bones of Joseph, which the sons of Israel had brought from Egypt, they buried at Shechem, in a portion of the field that Jacob had purchased from the sons of Hamor, from Hamor, the daddy of Shechem, for 100 young female sheep. So it was in the possession of the sons of Joseph.
Fucking specific.
Likewise, Eliezer, the son of triple Arab, died, and they buried him at Gibeah, which belongs to Phinehas, his son, and which was given to him on Mount Ephraim. This is just like, all right, so here's the covenant that you forged, and then it's just, all right, fast forward, everybody dies. It gets buried, I guess. What?
Okay. Before we continue, it's time to go to our review document.
Of course, I'm glad that you remembered, because I was gonna have to ask you.
Document.
Yeah. You will see. I just want to point out, this was the book of Joshua.
Yes.
Right, Terrace? The book began with, I mean, he was technically mentioned before, but the book basically pretty much began with Sky just being like, hey, Osmosis, you did some things that technically you never did, but I accuse you of them, so go on this mountain and kill yourself. And then Moses was like, okay, guess I'll die. And Osmosis died, and then Joshua became the new big deal. And then somehow Osmosis was back, and now Joshua is dead. Like, Joshua was literally just relevant for one book.
And the book was named after him, even.
Yeah, but just like, honestly, at that point, that's just poor writing. Might as well have kept Osmosis and killed him now. Why even introduce this new character?
This is what happens when you read a few thousand years old fanfiction.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find the document. Hold on. Let me. Where the hell? Let me put this away real quick. I don't share.
Share.
Where's the rating? I guess it was a sheet, right? It's not a doc. Sheets.google.com, or how do you?
It would have been a sheet, yeah.
Rating sounds good.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Found it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Rating?
Okay, good.
What the fuck?
Well, you can just look at the stream, I guess.
Yeah. Fine.
There you go. I guess our cameras are somewhat blocking it. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, enjoyability, characters, writing, plot, comment in general.
There's also very helpful graphs.
Very.
All right. Joshua, you can already put the next one, and the next one is Judges. Book of Judges. Book of Judges. The one judge.
I'm pretty sure I wrote it, but then when you joined the document, it froze for a sec.
Nice. Okay, so Joshua, enjoyability. I mean,
I think I enjoyed it a lot more than the past couple of books.
I will say the last session, the one with Alex, was very dry. Like, only names and this city, and they were 13, and they were fuck off. That was kind of painful, but overall, a lot happened, which I know it's we have plot later, but overall that just kept it more interesting. It didn't just feel like here's the law. So overall, it just there weren't really many, aside from the last session, which was, to be fair, only one reading session. But overall, I never really felt like this is a real chore to read. So overall, let's see, what else did I give? Janice? No, okay, I can't give a 7, but I think it's 6. Yeah, I think I will give it a 6.
I'm gonna go for the sort of middle ground 5.
Okay, characters.
I mean, we had Joshua, which was kind of like
and Osmosis, but that's really it. We only had those two, right? Was anybody really relevant? Sure, there were all the kings that were killed, but was there anyone that was really relevant?
I don't think so.
So we basically had two characters. One of them, Osmosis, very poorly written, very incoherent. So honestly, I'm gonna have to give this the lowest rating. Like, it wasn't terrible. Joshua was an interesting idea. They just didn't execute it properly. So I'm not gonna give it a 1. I'm like between 2 or 3.
I'm gonna go for 3 because I mean Joshua himself was an alright enough character.
No, I'm gonna give it a 2 because Joshua is basically just. How is he different from Osmosis? Be honest. If we had literally just had Osmosis instead of Joshua, it would be hardly any different. Writing. Okay, so the writing was.
Well,
I mean, the writing actually was pretty repetitive. It was like, and they went to this city, and they captured it, and they killed this king, and they killed this king, and this king, and this guy gets this
land. And he said, and he didn't say.
Now, that's always in the Bible. The and he said, and they said, and he said. That's just always in the Bible. It's in every single book. But I'm thinking Joshua writing. Yeah. Was there anything that really stuck out?
I think this was very middle ground.
Yeah, I'm thinking just 5 because it wasn't terrible, but nothing good.
It didn't stand out.
Okay, plot. A lot happened. Like, finally the promised land and everything. So
Oh yeah, the plot happening was kind of finally the land.
I like the idea of trying to kill Osmosis. I just don't like how they did it, but I like the idea. And then it's the promised land, and then they turn it around and it's like, okay, you have your promised land, but there's still the surrounding nations you could kill, so you could still expand further. And the whole, I really like all right, you're serving foreign skyters, and they're like, well, actually, we're building this altar for us, and it's actually, we're not transgressing. So...
Yeah, that was actually surprisingly a lot plot-wise.
For most of the book of Joshua, you were thinking of the 2.5 tribes as bad, and now it turns out they actually weren't bad, so that was a nice plot twist. So I'm gonna give this definitely more than like Leviticus. I'm thinking maybe even 8. 7 or 8. That was...
Yeah, I was thinking 6 or 7, but I think closer to 8 might be a good one. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think especially in comparison to the Deuteronomy and the past few books, I think an 8's a good refresher.
I thought about it, and compared to Genesis and Exodus, they had not too much. They had so much going on and so many different people, and like that was really branching out. So I'm gonna give this slightly less than Genesis and Exodus. Comedy. I mean the hey, Osmosis. You did something you never did, so go kill yourself. And then Osmosis being like, okay, guess I'll die, was pretty funny. I will admit that. Other than that... I mean,
didn't we get the Hill of Foreskins?
Holy shit, you're right.
Hill of Foreskins.
And we got the land was divided among the most high.
Yeah, we got
the most high.
Yes.
Oh no.
We got Foreskins and Snoop Dogg in one book.
The Hill of the Foreskin, they got a second circumcision because actually they didn't get circumcised, even though that's against the rules. But
they got a little lazy. They put it on the back burner, okay?
No, they put on a foreskin. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna have to rate this very high. This might actually be 9 territory for me. The Hill of Foreskin. Oh, wait. Okay, before you put out your rating, one more thing, Terrace.
Yeah, go on.
This is gonna make it a 9 or a 10 for you. 4chan.
All right, go on. Oh, yeah. All right.
I think
I'm gonna reserve the 10 for something really fucking hilarious.
I'm gonna give it a 10, but I might retroactively pull it down to a 9 if there's like the most amazing book ever. But 4chan and the Hill of Foreskins is just there was so much good shit. Look, we're on an upward trend once again.
Yeah, it's quite impressive actually.
Yay!
That means things only get better from here.
No, if we're upwards, then there's more room below again, so it's more likely to get worse.
Don't ruin it.
Okay. By the way, if Bill, you're free to also give your summary of what you heard, but if you don't want to, that's fine. We can move on.
I align with the two of you so far. So I'm speak out when I just very much don't enjoy the certain book.
You just be fortunate you weren't there for the Book of Numbers. Or Deuteronomy.
Or yeah, Deuteronomy especially.
Look at the ratings. They were just
That shit fucking dragged on forever.
literally
it just didn't stop.
cut them out. Give like a brief summary at the beginning of the next book, like
In the
previously
beginning.
on the Bible, and then like a 2-minute recap, and you're good. Okay.
Need to go for a while. Be right back.
Wow. Rude.
I need to go for a while. Be right back.
10 out of 10.
Bible logic right there.
Oh. Well, I suppose that's what he tells his girlfriend, that he lasts a while in bed.
He's just like, okay, be right back, and then he just waits for an hour. All right, I'm ready again. Anyways, I think it is time. Bill Cosby needs to go for a while. Yes. The Book of Judges. Okay, no, wait. The Book of Judges.
Nice.
Judges 1. After the death, with 1 F.
I just realized something. You moved the cameras.
Oh. I did. Hold on. Before anybody notices, let's just... No. I got this. Don't worry.
Why am I here twice now?
Shut up. We need more terrorists. This was supposed to be a secret. Don't tell what...
Maybe no one noticed.
You know, this is like the reward for closely paying attention, because if somebody listened to the episode, when was like 2 or 3 episodes ago, where I mentioned that, where I realized, and then it was like, oh wait, it's covered. There you go. If you paid attention, if you know, you know.
Oh.
But I
Well,
also
we're off to a good start.
I also enjoy certain substances, on another note. Let's try this again. You know what? Let's just start over. Genesis 1.
Genesis 1.
Genesis, what?
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 I said, let's start over. That's the joke, Terrace.
Alright, okay, yeah, fair enough.
The Book of Judges. Judges 1. After the death, with 1 F, of Joshua, the sons of Israel consulted the Lord, saying, who will ascend before us against the Canaanite, and who will be the commander of the war? And the Lord said, Judah shall ascend. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hands. And Judah said to his brother, oh yeah, right, you are right.
Yes, indeed.
Harris doesn't pay attention except for when it matters. Help. And Judah said to his brother Simeon, go up with me to my lodge. Lodge? And fight against the Canaanite, so that I also may go forth with you to your lot.
What?
Everybody gets their own lot?
Nice.
That
Simeon
sounds
went
like
with him.
a lodge.
Yeah.
And Simeon went with him. And Judah went up, and the Lord delivered the Canaanite, as well as the Perizzite, into their hands. And they struck down 10,000 of the men at Bezek. And they found Adoni-Bezek at Bezek. And they fought against him, and they struck down the Canaanite and the Perizzite.
Thanks, Bible. Very cool.
You know what? I'm almost willing to bet that Adoni translates to like citizen of or something, and they literally just named him citizen of Bezek in Bezek, or something along those lines. These
Yeah,
names
and
are
they
just
found they found the citizen of Bezek in Bezek. Interesting. How?
oh,
Why
hold.
would
Okay,
he be there?
let's do this again. And they found Adoni Bezek at Bezek, and they fought against him, and they struck down the Canaanite and the parasite. Then Adoni Bezek fled, and they pursued him and captured him, and they cut off the ends of his hands and feet.
Nice.
Rude.
And they cut off the ends of his hands and feet. So fingers and toes? Only like
Yes.
the toenails?
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes.
Leave my niece out of this. She's innocent. What is the ends of his hand? What the fuck?
Yeah, fingers and toes.
Very
His
good
left
writing
toenail.
once again. Very creative paraphrasing, I guess. And Adoni Bezek said, 70 kings, with the ends of their hands and feet amputated, have been gathering the remnants of food under my table. Just as I have done, so has Skytus repaid me. What?
What?
70 kings with the ends of their hands and feet amputated. So basically 70 kings without fingers and toes have been gathering the remnants of food under my table.
What the fuck?
Thanks, my boy.
What? He's delusional. He's clearly just lacking blood and is delusional. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and he died there.
Nice.
Thanks for introducing this very interesting character, Bible. I'm so glad we talked about this. Adoni Bezek, who was at Bezek, he lost his toes and his fingers, and then he said nonsense, and then he died. The end. Wow. Thanks. Then the sons of Judah, besieging Jerusalem, seized it, and they struck it with the edge of the sword, delivering the entire city to be burned. Ah, yes, I also hit the city with the edge of my sword. Because it's been a nasty boy. And afterward, descending, they fought against the Canaanites who were living in the mountains and in the south and in the plains. They had plains back then? And Judah going forth against the Canaanites who were living at Hebron, the name of which from antiquity was Kiriath Arba, and struck down Shesha, Ai, and Ahiman. Ahiman! Sorry, I mispronounced it. And Talmai. And continuing on from there, he went to the inhabitants of Debir, the old name of which was Kiriath Sefer. Why is this not in brackets? But the other one was in brackets. What the fuck? That is the city of letters.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, yes, we already had that when the
In an envelope.
Literally just stick with one name. Nobody cares. Or just be like City 1, City 2, City 3. Nobody gives a fuck. Let alone for two names. Holy shit. And Caleb said, whoever will strike Kiriath Sefer...
Who's Caleb?
Yes. DJ Caleb. Whoever will strike Kiriath Sefer and will lay waste to it, I will give to him my daughter Aksha as wife. Wait,
Aksa?
wasn't there already some other dude that was like, hey, if you strike this city, you will get my daughter as a wife? I think that was in the previous or the session before that. Do you happen to remember?
No.
It was literally somebody
I believe
said
you.
something along the lines of whoever will strike, I will give to him my daughter, and then somebody did it. So this is just creative writing again. And when Othniel, the son of Kenaz, a younger brother of Caleb, had seized it, he gave his daughter Aksa to him in marriage. And as she was,
Is this like a really strange dare, or like a challenge or something? It's like it's like
a bounty. It's a bounty.
No, it's like I bet my daughter you can't capture the city.
I think it's a bounty, but you know what? It can be whatever you want it to be.
Oh, wonderful.
And as she was traveling on a journey, her husband admonished her so that she would request a field from her daddy. And since she had sighed while sitting on her donkey, Caleb said to her, "What is it?" We had this before! What the But she responded, give a blessing to me. And now she's going to complain about dry land, right? For you have given me a dry... Fuck off! I'm literally... No, I'm going back. I'm finding this. I vaguely remember where on the page it was. Fuck you, I'm finding this. I'm not crazy. I am not crazy. I will find this. I will find this.
He's literally losing the plot.
What the fuck? Did they literally copy-paste the plot? Ah, I found it! Look at page 129 of this. On the left side. And Caleb said, whoever will have struck down Kiriath Sefer and will have seized it, I will give to him Axa, my daughter, as a wife. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, the younger brother of Caleb, seized it. And he gave him Axa, his daughter, as a wife. And as they were traveling together, she was urged by her husband that she ask her daddy for a field. And she sighed as she was sitting on her donkey. And Caleb said to her, what is it? But she answered, give a blessing to me. You have given to me southern and dry land. Join to it also a watered land. And also blah, 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 fuck you.
Well, this is getting a very low writing mark.
This is pathetic. But she responded, give a blessing to me, for you have given me a dry land. Also, give a watered land. Give watered land, please.
And wet pigs.
Therefore, Caleb gave to her the upper watered land and the lower watered land. Now, the sons of the Kenite, the relative of osmosis, yes, Kenite, who doesn't know who that is? Me. Ascended from the city of palms with the sons of Judah into the wilderness of his lot, which is toward the south of Arad. And they lived with him. Then Judah went out with his brother Simeon, and together they struck the Canaanites who were living at Zephath, and they put them to death with a few too many F's. And the name of this city was called Hormah, that is anathema. And Judah seized Gaza with its parts, and Ashkelon, as well as Ekron, with their borders. And the Lord was with Judah, and he possessed the mountains. But he was not able to wipe out the inhabitants of the valley, for they abounded with chariots armed with scythes. Did we have this before? I feel like we had chariots and scythes mentioned before. Is this literally just like a retelling from a different perspective?
No, it's the same retelling from the same perspective.
Okay, and just as Osmosis had said, they gave Hebron to Caleb, who destroyed out of it the 3 sons of Anak. But the sons of Benjamin did not wipe out the Jebusite inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the Jebusite has lived with the sons of Benjamin in Jerusalem, even to the present day. The house of Joseph also ascended against Bethel, and the Lord was with them. But when they were besieging the city, which was previously called Luz, they saw a man departing from the city, and they said to him, reveal to us the entrance to the city, and we will act with mercy toward you. And when he had revealed it to them, they struck the city with the edge of the sword. But that man and all his relatives they released. And having been sent away, he went out to the land of the Hittites, and he built a city there, and he called it Luz. And so it is called even to the present day. Likewise, Manasseh did not destroy Bethshean and Tanakh with their villages, nor the inhabitants of Dor and Ibleam and Megiddo with their villages. And the Canaanite began to live with them. Then, after Israel had grown strong, he made them tributaries, but he was not willing to destroy them. Now Ephraim did not put to death with one F the Canaanite who was living at Gezer. Instead, he lived with them. Zebulun did not wipe out the inhabitants of Kitron and of Nahalal. Instead, the Canaanite lived in their midst and became their tributary. Likewise,
would you like to die of alcohol poisoning?
I'm already brain dead, don't worry.
Well, I've got a suggestion.
Let me guess, whenever there's an unnecessary listing of garbage.
No, whenever there's a name we haven't been introduced to prior. Just like a randomly mentioned thing without any prior introduction.
Well, I think there's no new name so far in this. You just haven't been paying attention.
That is also possible.
Asher did not destroy the inhabitants of Echo. Okay, we have a new name. And Sidon, Alab and Akzib, and Helba and Afnik and Rehob. Okay, Terrace, you have to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. We had Sidon, but all the other ones are new, so good luck. And he lived in the midst of the Canaanites, the inhabitants of that land, for he did not put them to death with one F. Naphtali also did not wipe out the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh and Bethanath. And he lived among the Canaanite inhabitants of the land. And the Beth Shemeshites and the Bethanathites were tributaries to him. And I'm having a stroke, send help. And the Amorites hemmed the sons of Dan on the mountain, and did not give them a place, so that they might descend from to the flatlands. And he lived on the mountain at Har Haris, which is translated as resembling brick, at Denmark Jalon, and Sha'alabin. But the hand of the house of Joseph was very heavy, and he became a tributary to him. Now, the border of the Amorite was from the ascent of the Scorpion to the rock, and to the higher places. Terrace, I know you're not paying attention. Please pay attention. Look what I highlighted.
Hold on, there's like hours.
Page 135.
What the fuck is going on?
Now, the border of the Amorites was from the ascent of the Scorpion to the rock and the higher places. The Amorites literally stretched all the way to the rock. The rock. Not just any rock.
Yes,
literally the rock. He was there back then.
Wonderful.
Well, this is I'm having very mixed feelings about the start of this book. Dwayne Johnson played the Scorpion King. Oh, well, that explains a lot. Can I click on this?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
I will trust you on this. I didn't know they had cars back then.
You flat fuck.
Thanks. At least it doesn't have a stiff neck. But the border of the Amorite was just the rock. Yes. And the ascent of the Scorpion. But the rock. And the higher places. All the higher ones. So basically they were surrounded by mountains and the rock.
Dwayne Johnson.
Judges 2. And an angle of the Lord went up from Gilgal to the place of weeping. And he said, where the fuck is the place of weeping?
West to the left.
Also, what are we pinging? I led you away from Egypt, and I led you into the land about which I swore to your daddies. And I promised that I would not nullify my covenant with you, even forever, but only if you would not form a pact with the inhabitants of this land. Instead, you should overturn their altars. Yet you were not willing to listen to my voice. Why have you done this? For this reason, I am not willing to destroy them before your face, so that you may have enemies, and so that their skies may be your ruin. And when the angel of the Lord spoke these words to all the sons of Israel, they lifted up their voice and they wept. And the name of that place was called, the place of weeping, or the place of tears. Why is there a comma there? Fuck off. Okay, so let me just recap what just happened. There's an angle in the place of weeping. And he's speaking to all the sons of Israel, and he basically said, you done fucked up. And then they all started crying. And then they called it the place of weeping. But because this book is written so poorly, they already called it the place of weeping before it was the place of weeping.
Foreshadowing.
That's, yeah, you know what? Foreshadowing, but poorly.
Let the record show an attempt has been made.
Participation trophy, where? And they immolated victims to the Lord in that place. Then Joshua dismissed the people, and the sons of Israel went away, each one to his own possession, so that they might obtain it. And they served the Lord during all his days, and during all the days of the elders who lived for a long time after him, and who knew all the works of the Lord which he had done for Israel. Where have I heard that phrasing before?
Wait.
Then Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. Oh, really? He did die. I wonder what's going to happen next. Are they going to bury him at Tim something? Is somebody else going to die and they bury them? No, that wouldn't happen, right? Nah, that surely.
Well, hold your fucking horses there.
And they buried him in the parts of his possession at Timnath Serah on Mount Ephraim before the northern side of Mount Gash. And that entire generation was gathered to their daddies. And there rose up others who had not known the Lord and the works that he had done for Israel. And the sons of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they served the Baals. What is this fucking Diablo? And they abandoned the Lord, the skyters of their daddies who had led them away from the land of Egypt. And they followed foreign skyters, and the skyters of the people who were living around them, and they adored them. And they provoked the Lord to wrath, forsaking him, and serving Baal and Ashtaroth. Alright, I guess the other people dying were not important enough to be copy-pasted here as well.
Brilliant.
And the Lord, having become angry against Israel, delivered them into the hands of plunderers, who seized them and sold them to the enemies that were living on all sides. Neither were they able to withstand their adversaries. Instead, wherever they wanted to go, the hand of the Lord was upon them, just as he said, just as he swore to them. And they were greatly afflicted. And the Lord raised up judges who would free them from the hands of their oppressors. But they were not willing to listen to them. Fornicating with foreign skytesses and adoring them, they quickly deserted the way along which their daddies had advanced. And they have heard the commandments of the Lord. They did all the things to the contrary. And having heard the commandments, they did all the things to the contrary. And while the Lord was raising up the judges in their days, he was moved to mercy, and he listened to the groaning of the afflicted, and he freed them from the slaughter of their oppressors. But after a judge had died, they turned back, and they were doing much worse things than their daddies had done, following strange skytesses, serving them, and adoring them. They did not abandon their pursuits. Their very stubborn way. They did not abandon their pursuits and their very stubborn way, by which they were accustomed to walk. And the fury of the Lord was enraged against Israel. And he said, "For this people has made void my covenant, which I had formed with their daddies, and they have despised listening to my voice. And so I will not destroy the nations that Joshua left behind when he died, so that by them I may test Israel as to whether or not they will keep the way of the Lord and walk in it, just as their daddies kept it." Therefore, one more. Therefore, the Lord left all these nations, and he was not willing to quickly overthrow them, nor did he deliver them into the hands of Joshua. How will he deliver them into the hands of Joshua? He's dead. Fuck you. Go ahead.
Okay, right. So now, this is some real fucking plot twisting bullshit, right? So you know how in the previous book, right, he was guiding the people to take the lands of the other non-believers, right?
Yes.
That's exactly what's happening here again, but we're seeing it from the opposite perspective.
I mean, not the opposite.
He's guiding plunderers to take the people we're currently sort of occupying thing.
Yeah. Yes.
It's happening again.
But now,
which would imply the people we were taking the land from before were at one point believers that stopped being believers. So then God just switched who he was rooting for.
No, they just stopped listening to him. But
God switched teams.
Yeah, they fucked up. They didn't please him, and then he just decided, you know what? I'm just gonna. Oh wait, there's some people stuck in Egypt. Yoink. Yeah, then he took them.
This is what he's doing again, with some random bunch of plunderers.
Judges 3. These are the nations which the Lord left, so that by them he might instruct Israel and all who had not known the ways of the wars of the Canaanites, so that afterward their sons might learn to contend with their enemies and have a willingness to do battle. The 5 princes of the Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians and the Hivites who were living on Mount Lebanon from Mount Baal Hermon as far as the entrance to Hamath. Yes, Herman the German, I get it. You're welcome. And he left them, so that by them he might test Israel, as to whether or not they would listen to the commandments of the Lord, which he instructed to their daddies by the hand of Moses. And so the sons of Israel lived in the midst of the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. And they took their daughters as wives, and they gave their own daughters to their sons, and they served their skytes. And they did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they forgot their skytes, while serving the Baals and Ashtaroth. And the Lord, having become very angry with Israel, delivered them into the hands of Cushan-Rishathaim. Cushan-Rishathaim. No. The king of Mesopotamia. And they served him for 8 years. And they cried out to the Lord, who raised up for them a savior. And he freed them, namely Othniel, the son of Kenaz, a younger brother of Caleb. And the Spirit of the Lord was in him, and he judged Israel. And he went out to fight, and the Lord delivered Cushan-Rishathaim, the king of Syria, and he overwhelmed him. Wait, now this guy is king of Syria before Mesopotamia, so Mesopotamia is Syria? Or is he just the king of 2 different...
Yes.
Okay, thanks. That explains it. And the land was quiet for 40 years, and Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. Then the sons of Israel resumed doing evil in the sight of the Lord, who strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against them because they did evil in his sight. Just close your eyes, what the hell? Problem solved. And he joined to him the sons of Ammon and the sons of Amalek. And he went forth and struck Israel, and he possessed the city of palms. And the sons of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, for 18 years. And afterward they cried out to the Lord, who raised up for them a savior called Ehud, the son of Gera.
Jihad?
Ehud.
Jihad?
No, Ehud. It's an electric hut. The son of Gera, the son of Benjamin, who used either hand as well as the right hand. Yes, I also use my right hand as well as the right hand. I mean, they're trying to say that he's ambidextrous. Just in the most stupid fucking way possible. I guess this is gonna become relevant later on. Just remember that Ehud is ambidextrous. And the sons of Israel sent gifts to Eglon, the king of Moab, by him. And he made for himself a 2-edged sword, having a handle reaching to the middle, the length of the palm of a hand. And he was girded with it under his cloak, on the right thigh. And he offered the gifts to Eglon, the king of Moab. Now Eglon was exceedingly fat. And when he had presented the gifts to him, he followed out his companions who had arrived with him. And then, returning from Gilgal, where the idols were, he said to the king, I have a secret for you, O king. And he ordered silence. And when all those who were around him had departed, Ehud entered to him. Ooh. Now he was, just by the way, entering to somebody basically means having sex with somebody. Now he was sitting alone in a summer upper room. And he said, I have a word from Skytis to you. He immediately rose up from his throne. And Ehud extended his left hand, and he took the dagger from his right thigh, and he thrust it into his abdomen. So strongly that the handle followed the blade into the wound, and was enclosed by the great amount of fat. Neither did he withdraw the sword. Instead, he left it in the body, just as he had struck it with it. And immediately, by the private parts of nature, the filth of the bowels went out. What?
What the fuck?
What does that mean?
What are we reading anymore?
The king gets fucking stabbed to death, and the weapon is left inside him. And then immediately, by the private parts of nature, the filth of bowel went out. The private parts of the... What does that mean?
Means he got stabbed in the bowels and his shit flowed out from the sword wound.
I don't know what this is supposed to mean. By the private parts of nature, the filth of the bowels went out. Yeah, I mean, either the filth of the bowels is just the bowels are the filth, so just he's bleeding and his intestines and everything are all over the place, which is, I guess, a little gross, so that's filth. Or it's literally, he stabbed him and then just... You know, like a fucking pressurized canister. You just stab it and then it's fucking explodes. You just stab him and then there's just shit everywhere.
Oh, synth
Private parts of nature. By the private parts of nature. Wait! Oh no! I get it. I get it now. I think the private parts of nature. That's your cock and balls. So let me try again. And immediately, by as in close by, you know, as a location. So close to his private parts, the filth of the bowel went out. So he got stabbed to death and he shit himself.
Wonderful.
That's what this means. That actually makes sense if you interpret it that way. Literally shit himself.
Nice.
Then Ehud carefully closed the doors of the upper room, and, securing the bars, he departed by a back exit. And the servants of the king, entering, saw that the doors of the upper room were closed, and they said, "Perhaps he is emptying his bowels in the summer room."
What is wrong with this fucking back?
This is such shitty writing.
Literally.
You're so welcome. And after waiting a long time, until they were embarrassed and seeing that no one opened the door, they took the key. And opening it, they found their lord laying dead on the ground. But Ehud, while they were in confusion, escaped and passed by the place of the idols from which he had returned. And he arrived at Seirath. And immediately he sounded the trumpet on Mount Ephraim, and the sons of Israel descended with him. He himself advancing at the front. Okay. And he said to them, "Follow me, and everything is all right. I'll be the one to tuck you in at night."
Huh?
Excuse me.
And if you want to leave, I can guarantee you won't find nobody else like me.
What?
Hmm.
What the fuck is going on?
That's going on. Look it up if you don't know.
I'm not going
I
to.
meant to say the private arts of nature. Oh, thanks. Where were we?
Yeah, we were.
And he said to them, "Follow me, for the Lord has delivered our enemies, the Moabites, into our hands." And they descended after him, and they occupied the fords of the Jordan, which cross over to Moab. What the fuck is a ford? Is that it?
Ford Fiesta.
No.
Fiesta.
Okay, that's okay. Apparently, that's a thing. I did not know. All right.
Yeah, Ford Fiesta is a thing.
Thanks. Where the fuck was I? Into our hands.
Yeah.
And they descended after him, and they occupied the fords of the Jordan, which cross over to Moab. And they did not permit anyone to cross. And so they struck down the Moabites at that time. About 10,000, all strong and robust men. None of them were able to escape. And Moab was humbled in that day under the hand of Israel. And the land was quiet for 80 years. After him, there was Shamgar, the son of Anath, who struck down 600 men of the Philistines with a plowshare. And he also defended Israel.
With a snowplow.
No, a plowshare. He only had a share of a plow. He's a fucking stock trader. So basically, their king died, and then they're just too retarded to fight?
Pretty much.
Oh,
That seems to be a common thing
Thanks.
throughout history, to be fair.
Yeah.
what you linking there, buddy? Are you really going through the effort? Because if so, I will be very impressed.
Wait, I will send him pictures of Ford Fiesta.
You know what? You do that. I will empty my bladder in because I'm a filthy boy and Bible.
Damn. You know what? That's a good idea, actually. It's time for a piss break. I'm gonna return momentarily as well.
Oh.
Help! My terrorist has escaped.
Yeah, he did.
Can I have him back? Yes, I can. Perfect.
That was a very eventful piss.
It went piss poor.
Wow.
Not Judas. What the fuck? Judges 4. But after the death, with one F, of Ehud, the sons of Israel resumed doing evil in the sight of the Lord. Very good writing once again. So they're doing evil, and then they're enslaved, and then they're like, I don't want to be enslaved, and then the Lord has mercy, and then they start doing evil
I've
again.
seen that somewhere.
And the Lord
Wait
delivered
a
them into the hands of
minute.
Jabin, the king of Canaan, who reigned at Hazor. And he had a commander of his army named Sisera. But this man lived at Harosheth of the genitals. And the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord, for he had 900 chariots with scythes, and he vehemently oppressed them for 20 years. He didn't just oppress them, he vehemently oppressed them. What?
Can I oppress you?
Always.
Yeah, oppress him.
Now, there was a prophetess, Deborah, the wife of Lapidoth. Hey, Terrace, wanna have a new name? How about 2 new names? Who judged the people in that time.
Funny that.
And she was sitting under a palm tree, which was called by her name, between Ramah and Bethel on Mount Ephraim. And the sons of Israel went up to her for every judgment. Have you looked at Discord, Terrace?
Haven't.
Maybe do that. And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, from Kadesh of Naphtali. And she said to him, the Lord, the Skyters of Israel, instructs you, go and lead an army to Mount Tabor, and you shall take with you 10,000 fighting men from the sons of Naphtali and from the sons of Zebulun. Then I will lead to you at the place of the torrent Kishon, Sisera, the leader of the army of Jabin, with his chariots and the entire multitude, and I will deliver them into your hand. And Barak said to her, if you will come with me, I will go. If you are not willing to come with me, I will not go. She said to him, Indeed, I will go with you. But due to this change, the victory shall not be reputed to you, and so Caesarea will be delivered into the hand of a woman.
Oh, no.
I just want to point out, as soon as there's one relevant person, it's just now it's all about women. A very interesting shift. I like this character already, just for, I guess, trying to bring some fame to women. Just more equality in the Bible, I guess. Just very, very notable. As soon as there's a woman in the Bible and she has any power, she's like, all right, but from now on, the women get the glory.
He really is. Like, I'm.
Hello, Raiders.
Feminism.
Hello, Toa. We are reading the Bible,
Oh, no.
and there's absolutely nothing more you need to know. You're in for
Games.
You're in for not games. No, you're in for a rough ride.
Games.
That's a good thing I like it rough.
All
Perfect.
salt, all
Games.
salt, all salt.
Yes, indeed. Salt, indeed. Therefore,
Please look at the name of the next book.
do I have to?
Yeah.
Where do I find it? And is it?
Page 150.
Did you replace it?
I didn't touch a thing.
Okay. What's your...
Ah, that's rough. We were just talking about it.
Thanks, Terrace.
Ah, you're so welcome.
But you know, the good thing about this book is we know one thing about it already. It will not be ruthless.
Classic.
So for those of you that joined with the raid, we now have a prophetess called Deborah, and she's apparently very powerful. And he, summoning Zebulun and Naphtali, ascended with 10,000 fighting men, having Deborah in his company. He had a company? Damn. What were they offering? What were they making money? Now Heber,
Selling sheep.
sheep labor. Now Heber.
Fuck off.
Holy fuck, that took you forever.
Fucking God.
Oh my god, you suck at life.
Oh, yeah, I fucking can't believe.
Have to run, have fun with the Bibles. We're working on that. Thanks for the raid. Good luck with running.
Oh, what are you running?
Now Heber, the Kenite, had previously withdrawn from the rest of the Kenites. His brothers, the sons of Hobab, the relative of Osmosis. And he had pitched his tent as far as the valley that is called Zananim. I wonder if it's Zananimus.
Denim.
Which was near Kadesh. And it was reported to Sisera that Barak, the son of Abinoam, had ascended Mount Tabor. And he gathered together the 900 chariots with scythes and the entire army from Harosheth of the genitals to the torrent Kishon. And Deborah said to Barak, "Rise up, for this is the day on which the Lord delivers Sisera into your hands, for he is your commander." And wait, why is Deborah saying this to Barak? She literally said before that Sisera will be delivered into the hand of a woman. And now she's talking to a man saying, "Lord, deliver Sisera into your hands." This is literally just...
Yeah, same.
inconsistent, bad writing. And so, Barak descended from Mount Tabor, and the 10,000 fighting men with him. And the Lord struck Sisera with great fear, and all his chariots and all his multitude with the edge of the sword, in the sight of Barak, so much so that Sisera, leaping from his chariot, fled on foot. And Barak pursued the fleeing chariots and the army as far as Harosheth of the genitals. And the entire multitude of the enemies was cut down unto utter annihilation. But Sisera, while fleeing, arrived at the tent of Jael. the wife of Heber, the Kenite. For there was peace between Jabin, the king of Hazor, and the house of Heber, the Kenite. Therefore Jael went out to meet Sisera, and she said to him, Enter to me, my lord. Enter, you should not be afraid. And he entered her tent. Wink, wink.
I'm afraid not.
And having been covered by her with a cloak, he said to her, Give me, I beg you, a little water, for I am very thirsty. And she opened a bottle of milk, and she gave him to drink. And she covered him. And Sisera said to her, Stand before the door of the tent, and if anyone arrives, questioning you, and saying, Could there be any man here? You shall respond, There is no one. And so Jael, the wife of Heber, took a spike from the tent, and also took a mallet. And entering unseen and with silence, she placed the spike over the temple of his head. And striking in with the mallet, she drove it through his brain, as far as the ground. And so, joining deep sleep to death with one F, he fell unconscious and died. And behold, Barak arrives in pursuit of Sisera. And Jael, going out to meet with him, said to him, Come, I will show you the man whom you are seeking. And when he had entered her tent, he saw Sisera lying dead, with a spike fixed in his temples. So he was handed to the hand of a woman. Also, nice bait, just like, oh yeah, have a seat here, have some milk, and then just fucking wrecks him. Thus did Skytis humble Jabin, the king of Canaan, on that day before the sons of Israel. And they increased every day, and with a strong hand they overpowered Jabin, the king of Canaan, until they wiped him out. Since Terrace refuses to answer your question, however long Terrace can endure this, but if you have to go, you're free to leave at any point.
What's the question?
Discord, still.
Oh yeah, usually about 2 hours in total.
2 hours minus intro and outro, because those are not on the YouTube video, so. But
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, however long Terrace can endure this, basically.
No, not too much longer.
Unless, of course. I do have a few hours of extra time I could use, but that's probably for another day. Judges 5. In that day, Deborah and Barak, the son of Abinoam, sang out, saying, All you of Israel who have willingly offered your lives to danger, bless the Lord. Listen, O kings. Pay attention, O princes. It is I. It is I. Help, I'm having a stroke. Who will sing to the Lord? I will sing a psalm to the Lord, the Skytis of Israel. O Lord, when you departed from Seir, and you crossed through the regions of Edom, the earth and the heavens were moved, and the clouds rained down water. The mountains flowed away before the face of the Lord, and Sinai.
I am under the water. Please help me.
Shut up. And Sinai before the face of the Lord,
You and me both.
Skytis of Israel. In the days of Shamgar, the son of Anath, in the days of Jael, the paths were quiet, and whoever entered by them walked along rough byways. The strong men ceased, and they rested in Israel until Deborah rose up, until a mother rose up in Israel. The Lord chose new wars, and he himself overturned the gates of the enemies. A shield with a spear was not seen among the 40,000 of Israel. My heart loves the leaders of Israel. All you who of your own free will offered yourselves during a crisis, bless the Lord. You who ride up on donkeys, laboring, and you who sit in judgment, and you who walk along the way, speak out. Where the chariots were struck together, and the army of the enemies was choked, in that place let the justices of the Lord be described, and let his clemency be for the brave of Israel. Then did the people of the Lord rise... Hold on, I skipped. Then did the people of the Lord descend to the gates and obtain leadership. Rise up, O Deborah. Rise up, and speak a canticle. Canticle whom? Rise up, Barak, and seize your captives, O son of Abinoam. The remnants of the people were saved. The Lord contended.
Do it again.
What?
Do it again.
What again?
Do
I
it again.
sneezed. Fuck off. I can't sneeze on command.
The Lord contended with the strong. Out of Ephraim he destroyed those with Amalek, and after him, out of Benjamin, those of your people, O Amalek. From Machir there descended leaders, from Zebulun those who led the army to war. The commanders of Issachar were with Deborah, and they followed the steps of Barak, who endangered himself like one rushing headlong into a chasm. Reuben was divided against himself. Contention was found among great souls. Terrace?
Yes.
The name Barak seems to be repeated a little too often. Would you like to do the find and replace?
Yeah, hold on.
Why do you live between two borders so that you hear the bleating of the flocks? Reuben was divided against himself. Contention was found among great souls. Gilead rested beyond the Jordan, and Dan was occupied with ships. Asher was living on the shore of the sea and dwelling in the ports. Yet, truly, Nebulun and Naphtali offered their lives to death, with one F, in the region of Merom. Merom. Sure, let's go with Merom. The kings came and fought, and the kings of Canaan fought at Tanakh, besides the waters of Megiddo, and yet they took no spoils. The conflict against them was from heaven. The stars, remaining in their order and courses, fought against Sisera. The torrent of Kishon dragged away their carcasses on the onrushing torrent, the torrent of Kishon. No. What? O my soul, tread upon the stalwart. The hoofs of the horses were broken, while the strongest of the enemies fled with fury and rushed on to ruin. Cursed be the land
where Barak?
There.
It's
Somewhere around here. Probably. There you go. Cursed be the land of Meroz, said the angel of the Lord. Cursed be its inhabitants, for they did not come to the aid of the Lord, to the assistance of his most valiant men. Blessed among women is Jael, the wife of Heber, the Kenite. And blessed is she in her skytis tent. 111111111.
What the fuck happened there?
How about you tell me? I did not.
What the fuck? That is so good. I have nothing to do with this.
Sure.
high distant 111111111.
He begged her for
Amazing.
water, and she gave him milk. And she offered
Milf?
him.
Yeah, that's right.
You only
Where'd
noticed
she get
that now. Took you long enough. Yes, she gave him milk, and she offered him butter in a dish fit for princes.
Okay.
But her
Okay.
hardly know her. She put her left hand to the nail and her right hand to the workman's mallet, and she struck Sisera, seeking in his head a place for the wound and strongly piercing his temples. Between her feet he was ruined, and he fainted away and passed on. He curled up before her feet and lay there lifeless and miserable. His mother gazed through a window and wailed, and she spoke from an upper room. Why does his chariot delay in returning? Why are the feet of his team on horses so slow? One who was wiser than the rest of his of his wives responded to her mother-in-law with this: "Perhaps he is now dividing the spoils, and the most beautiful among the women is being selected for him. Garments of diverse colors are being delivered to Sisera as spoils, and various goods are being collected for the adornment of necks. O Lord, so may all your enemies perish, but may those who love you shine with splendor as the sun shines at its rising." And the land rested for 40 years.
Wow.
A lot of time skips.
Well,
40
I
years,
mean, better
80
than just
years.
explaining all the nothingness in detail.
I guess, yeah.
I will check that Terrace
Oh,
is
no.
doing his duty on every single one of them from now on.
Oh, good.
Judges 6. Then the sons of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, who delivered them into the hands of Midian for 7 years. Ah, shit. Here we go again. And they were greatly oppressed by them, and they made for themselves hollows and caves in the mountains and very fortified places for defense. And when Israel had planted Midian and Amalek, and the rest of the Estonianer nations ascended. Wait, what? And when Israel had planted Midian and Amalek, and the rest of the Estonianer nations ascended, and pitching their tents among them, they lay waste to all that was planted as far as the entrance to Gaza. And they left behind nothing at all to sustain life in Israel, neither sheep, nor oxen, nor donkeys.
No.
For they and all their flocks arrived with their tents, and they filled all places like locusts, an innumerable multitude of men and camels, devastating whatever they touched. And Israel was humbled greatly in the sight of Midian, and he cried out to the Lord, requesting assistance against the Midianites. And he sent to them a man who was a prophet, and he said, "Thus says the Lord, the Skydes of Israel. I caused you to ascend from Egypt, and I led you away from the house of servitude, and I freed you from the hand of the Egyptians, and from all of the enemies who were afflicting you. And I cast them out at your arrival, and I delivered their land to you. And I said, I am the Lord your Skytes." Eris? I am the Lord
Yes.
your Skytes?
Oh, yeah, he is, yeah.
It's been a fucking while
been
and
a
a
fucking
half.
yeah.
But
It's been a hot fucking second, yeah.
literally, like that. It might have been over a book since that was last. But yeah, there we go. I am the Lord your Skytes. You shall not fear the Skytes of the Amorites, in whose land you live, but you were not willing to listen to my voice. Then an angel of the Lord arrived, and he sat under an oak tree, which was at Oprah. Did you, Terrace? Did we
What? No?
look at page 138, please?
No, I'm looking at the stream.
Or that?
Yeah, what about it? What about it?
Well, apparently Oprah is a location.
Apparently that's a thing.
I mean, she's not slim, so I yeah.
But you got a whole postcode.
Alright, then an angel of the Lord arrived, and he sat on an oak tree, which was at Oprah, and which belonged to Joash, the daddy of the family of Ezri. Ophrah. Yeah, no, it's Oprah. It's Oprah. Close enough. Screw you. Harris, you got a job to do. And while his son Gideon was threshing and cleaning the grain at the winepress so that he might flee from Midian, the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, "The Lord is with you, most valiant of men." And Gideon said to him, "I beg you, my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why have these things happened to us? Where are his miracles, which our daddies described when they said, 'The Lord led us away from Egypt'? But now the Lord has forsaken us, and he has delivered us into the hand of Midian." And the Lord looked down upon him, and he said, "Go forth with this, your strength, and you shall free Israel from the hand of Midian. Know that I have sent you. And responding, he said, I beg you, my lord, with what shall I free Israel? Behold, my family is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least Tonian in the house of my daddy. And the Lord said to him, I will be with you, and so you shall cut down Midian as if one man. And he said, if I have found grace before you, give me a sign that it is you who is speaking to me, and may you not withdraw from here until I return to you, carrying a sacrifice and offering it to you. And he responded, I will wait for your return. And so Gideon entered, and he boiled the gold, and he made unleavened bread from a measure of flour. And setting the flesh in a basket, and putting the broth of the flesh in a pot, he took it all under the oak tree, and he offered it to him. And the angel of the Lord said to him, take the flesh and the unleavened bread, and place them on that rock, and pour out the broth upon it. And when he had done so, the angel of the Lord extended the end of a staff which he was holding in his hand, and he touched the flesh and the unleavened loaves. A fire ascended from the rock, and it consumed the flesh and the unleavened loaves. Then the angel of the Lord vanished from his sight. And Gideon, realizing that it had been an angel of the Lord, said, Alas, my lord Skytus, for I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face. It's like, and for my next trick, I will disappear. And then he went poof. And the Lord said to him, Peace be with you, homie. Do not be afraid.
Sorry, what?
Peace be with you, homie.
Okay, you had that. Okay.
You actually fucking checked, you degenerate. Holy fuck. Yeah, no, the Bible will be like, peace be with you, homie. Do not be afraid. You shall not die.
Well, maybe you made changes I wasn't aware of. Who knows, you know? It's not exact. This whole document isn't exactly kosher.
It is, what do you mean? Therefore, Gideon built an altar to the Lord there, and he called it the Peace of the Lord, even to the present day. And while he was there, and while he was still at Oprah, you still haven't replaced that, which is the family of Azari, which is of the family of Azari, that night the Lord said to him, Take a bull of your daddy's and another bull of 7 years, and you shall destroy the altar of Baal, which is your daddy's. And you shall cut down the sacred grove which is around the altar. And you shall build an altar to the Lord your Skytus at the summit of this rock, on which you placed the sacrifice before. And you shall take the second bull, and you shall offer a holocaust upon a pile of the wood, which you shall cut down from the grove. Therefore, Gideon, taking 10 men from his servants, did just as the Lord had instructed him. But fearing his daddy's household and the men of that city, he was not willing to do it by day. Instead, he completed everything by night. And when the men of that town had risen up in the morning, they saw the altar of Baal destroyed and the sacred grove cut down, and the second bull set upon the altar, which then had been built. And they said to one another, Who has done this? And when they inquired everywhere as to the author of the deed, it was said, Gideon, the son of Joash, did all these things. And they said to Joash, Bring forth your son, so that he may die. For he has destroyed the altar of Baal, and he has cut down the sacred grove. But he responded to them, Could you be the avengers of Baal, so that you fight on his behalf? Whoever is his adversary, let him die before the light arrives tomorrow. If he is a Skytus, let him vindicate himself against who has overturned his altar. From that day, Gideon was called Jerubbaal, because Joash has said, Let Baal avenge himself against him who overturned his altar. And so all of Midian and Amalek and the Estonian people were gathered together. And crossing the Jordan, they encamped in the valley of Jezreel. I just like how, and then he's called Jerubbaal, even though it's just like, I guess you just know what it means. Probably destroyer
of course,
destroyer of Baal or something. But the Spirit of the Lord entered Gideon. who, sounding the trumpet, summoned the house of Abiezer so that he might follow him. And he sent messengers into all of Manasseh, who also followed him, and other messengers into Asher and Zebulun and Naphtali, who went to meet him. And Gideon said to Skytis, "If you will save Israel by my hand, just as you have said, I will set this wool fleece on the threshing floor. If there will be dew only on the fleece and all the ground is dry, I will know that by my hand, as you have said, you will free Israel." What? So he's just saying, basically, tell me if you will save Israel by my hand by putting dew on just the fleece but not on the ground.
Yes.
What a weird way, but hey, I guess that's how they communicated before the internet, huh? And so it was done. And rising in the night, wringing out the fleece, he filled a vessel with the dew. And again he said to Skytis, "Let not your fury be enkindled against me, if I test once more, seeking a sign in the fleece. I pray that only the fleece may be dry, and all the ground may be wet with dew." And that night Skytis did as he had requested, and it was dry only on the fleece, and there was dew on all the ground. Judges 7. And so Jerubbaal...
Slaps. What the fuck have you... What the fuck, Shaggy? Thanks, Shaggy. Very cool.
I mean, I am for the most part. You just here to add extra spice.
That's spicy.
So how would you rate this experience? Will you give us 5 stars on fuck, what's the... God damn it, I can't think of the site.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it as well. Trustpilot?
No, I'm thinking of the travel
it's one of
site.
I don't know. Trustpilot seems like a good one.
Billy, you here?
Huh?
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 Hey, we're
Aw.
talking to you.
Oh, okay. Could you repeat that?
Well, I know who's not getting invited ever again. Rude. I asked you, how would you review and rate this?
This last book was pretty fucking bad. I couldn't skip the plot.
Not just the book, the entire experience.
That's standard. We've lost the plot about 10% way through the Genesis.
Okay. Yeah.
We have no idea what's going on.
The writing was pretty fucking awful.
Yeah, that's
Just
also
overall,
that also hasn't
It's
really changed.
just F. 2 out of 10.
F with one F. Nice.
Yeah, that's because that's FF. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, but I'm not just talking about the book, the entire experience.
Mm.
What? How many stars will we get on Yelp?
on Yelp.
You know,
What the
Yelp
fuck is
as
a
in
Yelp?
Yelp me, I'm being repressed.
No idea actually how to rate.
Oh, that bad.
Did you enjoy yourself?
A bit, yes.
Oh, well, there you go. So it can't be that bad then.
A bit. I mean, Terrace enjoyed himself a bit. I haven't seen a bit from you.
Oof.
Okay.